consider subscribing to my dinky little channel here. If this was information that was very hard won on my end, please subscribe. Okay, so the gym was just super loud today, so I'm just going to narrate this. I have turned the volume down to 10%. If you want, you can probably listen to it somehow, I suppose. I don't know. But anyways, today is a light arm day. I'm doing relatively modest weights. I don't do the gorilla stuff anymore. There is some hormone production advantages to doing some of the gorilla stuff, but we'll talk about that another time. But here I'm doing some of my warm-up. You'll see a lot of shoulder stuff because all of us, myself included, get injured shoulders over time. And so you have more range of movement in your shoulder when your arm is not straight and your elbows are not locked. So you see me bend my elbows and do allow that. And then I'm doing some twisting here. This is about the only twisting you'll ever see me do. I am really not supposed to ever twist again in my life, but I do a tiny bit just to help manage the arthritis creeping up. And I think I'm about to do my little squat down here. Feet flat on the floor is critical. And then elbows tucked tight inside the knees, and then I make a prayer motion with my hands. I kind of like it, sort of symbolic, and it also allows me to put some pressure outward on my knees. And I squat all the way down, but to the top of my heels if I can get it on a good day. Thais do this easily. For Westerners, it's difficult. It takes practice. And so today is 80 degrees, not too bad. And I'm going through some of the just finishing up my warm-ups here. You'll see the backs of my hands touch together. I don't put the back of my hand to the palm of my hand, one hand to the other. It's like a negative energy thing from Korean philosophy, and with the Taekwondo, I kind of picked it up as a habit. I keep back of hand to back of hand. You'll see me moving kind of awkwardly sometimes with that, and that's the reason why. And even though I'm doing upper body, you see here I'm doing a hip stretch. We're all going to have trouble with our hips to some degree as we age, hips, knees, all that fun stuff. So I'm doing some hip stretching, and I think I'm about to do the baby version of my X kicks or stretch kicks. Normally I prefer not to hang on to a safety item in the gym. But today I just knew it was going to not be a great day. And so I'm doing these warm-up kicks, and my knee is slightly bent. I'm not locking my knee. I'm kicking a little bit higher than head height. If you can kick to waist height or whatever, or whatever kind of stretch or warm-up you want to do, it almost doesn't matter. But a 3 to 5 minute warm-up, light stretching, even just baby stuff, if you do that 3 times a week, you will be absolutely astounded at how much progress that makes in your body. When my gym was shut down due to COVID back in the States, I was really shocked at how tight I got and how bad I felt just from missing my little phony baloney 3-minute stretch before every workout. So all this stuff is very helpful, and none of the stuff is too stressful, because if I can do it, almost anybody could do it. I'm really restricted. So here we're grabbing some dumbbells. I think these are, this is my shoulder warm-up. Yeah. So you'll see pinkies going further out as I make the outward apart motion. I'm showing the tip there. So the pinkies are further, the thumbs are closer. That little angle is something consistent in pretty much all shoulder workout. It's just a critical thing, and to get the stress into the shoulder joint where you want it. I don't know why it works that way. I just know it does. And I do this little warm-up. This is an actual physical therapy routine, by the way. But I do this little warm-up at every workout, every time. I find it's very helpful. So I do just one set of as many as is just comfortable until the joint starts to warm and I start to feel a little bit of stress. It's not supposed to be a workout. It's just a light warm-up. But it really warms up the shoulder joint. And since I've been doing this, I have had no shoulder injuries. So I think it does. I think it does a little something. And I think you're going to see me, transition. And my form here is laughably terrible, by the way. It's sad what you see when you videotape yourself. My upper arm should be parallel to the floor, and they start out kind of parallel, but I think quickly it all falls apart. Yep, there we go. I'm way off the reservation. But you get the idea. And again, that pinky rule follows again. The thumb should be pointing down and the pinky's up a little bit as I lift the weights. I'm barely doing that. God, my form is awful today. And it was going to be an off, well, a little bit of, today was going to be an off day. I could feel it. I wanted to do it. I wanted to do this video, and I'm just getting back to the gym after 3 weeks of more injury on top of my normal level of injury, and I'm really eager to try to get back to normal. So I wanted to do a nice take it easy workout. Okay, so here now I'm going to do my tricep pull downs. I like my tricep pull downs. It's a great exercise. I find it safer and injures me less and stresses the joints less than other free weight exercises where you lay on your back and drop the bar down to your forehead. Now, I did all that stuff for years, but I find the pull down machines less stress. Plus, in this case, I'm actually taking gravity and pulling the weight against my spinal compression, which is always a positive. Here I'm talking about grip. I use a monkey grip, which means thumb is the same side as the fingers. And I show there the pinkies. The small pinky has the big bone under it. That's the strong part of the hand. Believe it or not, it's the part under the pinky. The part under the thumb is weak. So I got my grip angled, all 5 fingers on the top of the bar, squeezing to grab the bar so I don't let go and whack myself in the teeth. And I've put the pressure on the side of my hand where my pinkies are. And I get less arthritis pain, less grip pain, less carpal tunnel pain, all that good stuff by using that grip. Go with what you're comfortable. For God's sakes, don't whack yourself in the teeth with a bar. If you need a thumb around the other side, then do that for at least a good long time until you're comfortable. I still use a thumb grip on some things, but when I can, I use the monkey grip because I do get less carpal tunnel, arthritis, all that kind of stuff. It just helps me. Generally, I should probably throw a text in here, but I do 3 sets of 8 to 16 reps. That's a wide range, but that just depends on the weight, a heavy day, light day, a medium day, and I rotate days, and I do it at random. I do the exercises, I mix them up in random too, because you just don't want your body to get too acclimated. Here I'm stretching my tricep by taking my elbow, putting it against the machine, and leaning my body weight against it, and forcing my upper arm straight up vertical. I find stretching the tricep, you're going to build the tricep, biggest muscle in the upper arm, which everybody likes a little bit of arm if you're lifting weights. You got to stretch it or it's just going to get short on you and it's going to cause problems. So this is a standard twist curl. I'm using 25 pounds here, not a gorilla weight. I don't do any gorilla stuff anymore. I did all that. I got the voucher from all that stuff. Don't do it. So here's a standard twist curl, and I get the twist in early. I try to keep my elbows fairly still. My body is still wobbling more than it should. My form is not good today. When you have a bad day, this wasn't a bad day, I knew it was going to be an off day. If you're going to have a bad day, the smart, experienced weightlifters just call it and just don't work out that day. And even the really big guys, they're not feeling good, they just don't do it. And I'm the same way. Here, I probably, a rare day I pushed it, but I kind of wanted to shoot this video, and I'm just so eager to get back after being out for so many weeks where I couldn't do a darn thing. I was very frustrated. So here, these are called supersets. You see me going back and forth between bicep and tricep exercises, curls and pushdowns, going back and forth with very, very little rest. While the bicep is resting, I'm working the tricep, and vice versa. Here, it's a little bit of an unusual posture, and I've had some lesser experienced friends kind of make fun of me for that, but the weightlifting guys know what I'm doing. I've got a bad back. I've got my back arched. My pelvis top rotated forward, bottom of my pelvis rotated back as much as possible. Nice arch in my lower back. And then I'm just fighting with those tricep pull downs, trying to get some good force in there without straining my joint. And here, okay, and so here I've just got these regular old twist curls. That's what we're doing. And that's a good thing. It's absolutely a good thing. So again, I'll do 3 sets of between 8 and 16 repetitions each. Generally, I try and stay in that 10 to 12 range. That works out pretty well for me. So I'll go back to the narration. You can hear me a little bit talking about going to really high repetitions, and it causes problems. That can actually exacerbate your arthritis, believe it or not. And then, of course, the really heavy stuff isn't good for our older joints. So staying in that, anything I can't do 8 times, I don't do. And then 16 is when I got to move the weight up. 16 is just past that's getting to be too light, even for an older guy like me. You can see here 3 sessions a week. That's my goal. I certainly don't do that every week. I just physically can't. And you don't have to. If you had a good session at the gym twice a week, you'll start making progress. If you weren't in the gym before and you go to that level, you will absolutely begin to transform your body. Drink a ton of water, eat more vegetables, watch the carbs at night. You know, the common sense dieting is the best, and that weight will come right off, and it'll stay off. You'll do it the right way. When I lost my 50 pounds, I took off about 2 pounds a week, fairly consistently. Kind of weird consistently, honestly. First couple weeks maybe a little quicker, but it just really steadily about 2 pounds a week, and I didn't get too much backlash from losing that much weight by going slow and steady like that. Here you can see with my forearm movement, I'm in that 100-degree range of movement, give or take. That last one was awful, but I was really pushing it. And here I'm talking about the degree of movement. You don't want to bring your hand up really high and make a very acute, sharp angle with your elbow, because then that tendon's got to wrap all the way around that corner of your arm. It's really hard on that tendon, and being older does not help things, just in case you were wondering. So I talk about that a little bit, and it's important. You know, here with the seated incline curls, they're I mean, being completely honest, I like them in the middle of my workout routine because it lets me sit down. It's sad, but it's true. But your experienced weightlifters all do them. Every one of the advanced guys at my old gym in the States, every single guy did these. Everybody. I think the general consensus is this is a proven exercise, and it is less work. It does help, particularly if you're supersetting. If you're almost 60 and you're supersetting, this at least gives you a little break. And it does give my spine a break. If you've got a bad back or bad hips, this takes the load off and locks your body in a non-moving position. And see, by going all the way up with that weight, you get that squeeze on your bicep like you're flexing, trying to show off or something. That it isn't really any work that you're doing, but it's beneficial to the muscle to compress it like that. And believe it or not, they generally consider it a proven technique. So I do it. I feel good doing it. I feel like it's a little more advanced technique. It makes me feel good in my ego. And then on a pragmatic level, I get to sit down for 5 minutes, and that feels really good. So again, this will be 3 sets. These generally, now you do lighter. This would not be something I would ever do 8 reps on a seated incline curl. I would always do at least 12, and I go to that 16 pretty quick. And I could go past the 16, and I wouldn't necessarily move the weight up. Oh yeah. I'm talking here about the angle of your wrist. Back in the day, we'd angle our wrists different angles to, in theory, work the different heads of the tricep, and that's kind of been pretty well debunked. I've had more and more very advanced people tell me that's just flat out not true. You get different heads of the tricep by varying the angle of your upper arm, which is the bicep and tricep on it, your upper arm to your body. So here, my upper arm is going straight out parallel to the floor. Very different angle than before. My upper arm was alongside my rib cage. I mean, that's the opposite. Very different. You can really feel it work a different part of your arm. In fact, your arm will hurt like heck for a week or two after the first time you do these, because you will have never worked that muscle before. I don't know which one of the 3 tricep heads this works. I'm not that scientific. I'm recording. Hey, I'm recording. Come on, everybody. You're getting a little slice of my life here. I'm not going to dub over this. It's fine. So I'm almost done. So this was kind of a mediocre workout. I didn't get a huge pump. I got a small pump. I think it took me about 45 minutes. It was a little distracting having to move my iPhone around on my little tripod, my little portable selfie stick tripod combo I keep in my backpack for my newfound YouTube hobby, which has been really fun. It's given me something to do, and So anyways, now these, you notice I've moved my elbows further out, and it's almost like I'm doing that double bicep flex, like I'm showing off at the beach for the girls or something, which I wouldn't mind doing. Wish I looked better. But anyways, because the bicep is a round muscle. If you look at a diagram of a bicep, they're round, and which means they say you can work them from any angle. So you can have your arms out in front doing the twist curls like I did out front. These I tend to go to the side just for something different, and I tend to hit myself in the ear less with the dumbbells. Just something I've noticed. And it varies it up a little bit, makes it different. And it gets my shoulder working from a different angle. And here I'm not building my shoulder, I'm using it. So I don't really want to wear my shoulders down any more than I have to. How I hurt myself a couple weeks ago was doing shrugs to make my tricep, my trapezius better. And I decided I'm not going to do those anymore. I'm just going to let those go. And my trapezius is going to get worked out from all the natural work I do with this stuff. So that's going to have to be that. Here's doing dips. It is sort of magical. Anytime you move your body weight through the air, like I'm doing here, my entire body is going up and down about maybe 10 inches or something. That creates hormone production, which should be foremost in the mind of any man who's thinking of coming to Thailand. These things do matter. Squats, dips, these big things like this will increase your hormone production, as does activity. Activity with the ladies will allow you to have more activity with the ladies. It's like it's counterintuitive for sure, but I certainly have noticed it. So here I'm doing hammer curls. I really like hammer curls. I'm a hammer curl guy. Some people skip them, which is not a good idea because the hammer curl works the larger of the two biceps. So everybody does a regular curl and works the smaller bicep, and they forget the bigger one. If you Google it on the internet, I think you'll find the #1 muscle ladies notice first is the bicep, second is shoulders. After I read that, and I read that a couple of times, I did increase my bicep and shoulder workouts, so we should know how shallow Rob is now. But on a more serious note, it is kind of fun to be an older guy and to look a little good. And there was a little problem at work where I got mad at one of my girlfriend's friends, a guy friend, and everybody at the table laughed because they knew he didn't want a problem with me. Here I'm almost 60, and the tailwind and the intonation, the mood of the room is, well, you know, Rob's really robust. You can't, you know, I would never hurt that. I really like him. He's a nice guy. I like him, but it's cool that at this age, that's still the fact. I'll take this deal for as long as I can. So. Yeah, my form today was terrible. So you can see how much I move and flex my core around and wobble, and that's just absolutely terrible. You really should be doing better than what I did today. I think my other days I'm generally better, but I think you're never as good as you are. And when you video yourself and really take a harsh look, it really does the camera does show everything. It's pretty brutal. But here is better. Here, you're going to get some movement. This is actually not bad. Some of the other stuff, my form is just absolutely abysmal. Really bad, I would say. So try and keep your core locked, because you do get a core workout and a six-pack workout at the same time for free, and it's a legit six-pack workout. You don't have to go and don't do sit-ups. We're too old for sit-ups. Don't do that. You can do very light crunches. I'll teach a crunch for older guys. And I have, on a good day when I haven't had any mu foi or sticky rice, you can see 5 of my six-pack. And I don't do any of the things you typically are supposed to supposedly have to do. My physical therapist was a big core guy, and I have to have it because of my back break. And my core is very strong, and I do a 2-minute plank every once in a while just to make sure I'm okay. But my core exercise is walking properly, and that sounds weird, but it's just true. Walking properly. Oh, careful, Kim. I'll see you in a little bit. Thank you. And then doing this and locking my core, and because you work your core by not moving. You don't have to move and do a sit-up to work your core. You can work your core without any movement whatsoever. This is, I don't know, my second or third set of hammer curls. I'm not sure. I'm cutting some of this so you don't just watch me do set after set of the same thing. Yeah, this is a light arm day. This was about probably 40-45 minutes in total, which is my shorter workout. Yeah, but it's effective. It's effective. I'm maintaining. I'm toning slightly. I'm not getting any bigger. To get bigger, you're going to have to do a couple cycles of creatine. every year, you're going to have to do a lot of whey protein. I take whey protein every day, but I take a moderate amount. You're going to need to like do a ton of it, and we're all too old for that.